Thank you guys for tuning in to another segment of the Sit Down with Malik Wright presented by First Star Logistics. On this segment, I'll be making a statement, and it's one that I truly believe at my core. I think mixed martial arts has surpassed boxing as the combat sports in the world. I think it has. I really do. Boxing is so far removed from the days of Ali, the days of Tyson, George Foreman, Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, Floyd Mayweather. Boxing is so removed from that. You still have your names that you like watching, like the Canelo Alvarez, like the Gervonta Davises, like the sensation on social media, Ryan Garcia, like Devin Haney, I guess, Teofimo Lopez. You have those guys. But when you think about it, in the last decade, I think more UFC fighters, and I say UFC fighters because that is one of the largest promotions when it comes to mixed martial arts nowadays, but more MMA fighters have made a dent in the combat sports game than boxers have. Now, granted, there's more money in boxing because boxing does a fantastic job of building up the excitement for a fight. They don't give it to you on demand, such as a UFC, such as Bellator, so on and so forth, which, creates hype, essentially. And you don't have, the obvious voters and all that kind of other stuff that UFC might have. But when you think about it, there have been more iconic names in the last 10 years that have come from the world of mixed martial arts that has impacted the combat sports games than it actually than boxing, to be honest with you. If you don't believe me, I got some names for you. Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor, right? John Jones, Israel Adesanya. I mean, I can keep going. Anderson the Spider Silva, Jose Aldo, Alexander Volkanovski. These are people, Kamaru Usman. These people that have, Sean O'Malley. These are people that have impacted the world of combat sports, and they've gotten the attention of boxers. They've gotten the attention of boxers. More UFC fighters do a better job of selling the pay-per-view, I would say, now than the boxers actually do. People would love to see Sean O'Malley take on Devin Haney, and that's a hot topic right now. People will love the idea of Conor McGregor taking on Floyd Mayweather. I would say Conor McGregor is the first UFC fighter to do it at that big of a scale. MMA fighter, I'm sorry. But there are so many iconic figures like the Chuck Liddell, like the Rampage Jackson, like the Lyoto Machida, like the Mauricio Shogun Rua, people that have impacted the world of combat sports more than boxers have in the last 10 years. And that's shame on boxing. That's tough for me to say because I grew up watching boxing. There's no personality in boxing. There's no excitement in boxing. There's nobody standing out. An influencer, Jake Paul, came in and took that game by force because guess what? He was unapologetically himself. He was able to talk his ish and walk it, even if it wasn't against actual boxers. It garnered more attention. It got people more excited. So, yes, I am willing to make that statement right now. And it feels like the UFC, MMA continues to churn out prospects. You don't believe me? Go look at Ian Gary. Go look at Ilia Topuria. These are guys that are going to be becoming household names before you know it. Hell, one could even say Islam Makhachev. One could say Khabib Nurmagomedov. Some of the Dagestani wrestlers have done more to impact the game of combat sports than some of the boxers. But before, boxers had this God complex about them that they couldn't even be mentioned in the same breath as MMA fighters because boxing was so intricate. Boxing was such a detailed sport. Now here we are. A guy that I would say lacked some ability, but he was known for his punching power. And Francis Ngannou went into your sport and probably what boxing has to offer up, right? Boxing's best. And Tyson Fury, who's considered the pound for pound #1 heavyweight, undefeated. Make no mistake about it. I don't give a damn what the scorecard said. Francis Ngannou won that fight. And you saw what that guy was able to do. He was able to go into Tyson Fury's sport. And Tyson Fury thought it was going to be a cakewalk. Not only did he hold his own, not only did he last all rounds, he knocked down Tyson Fury. And I think he was the more active fighter. That is what Francis Ngannou did. Now, I can name a lot of better boxers in the world of MMA than Francis Ngannou that I think would do a better job. Now, heavyweight boxing is different, obviously. Punching power is a lot different, a lot stronger. And probably the skill gap, the talent gap is a lot, smaller as well. But I'll just say this. The idea that UFC fighters, mixed martial artists, can no longer be mentioned in the same breath as boxers is dead. It's dead. Francis Ngannou put it into a coffin when he did what he did to Tyson Fury. That was what the best that boxing had to offer. We're talking about from a boxing strategic standpoint, not from a knockout standpoint. That was the best that boxing had to offer. And he failed. He failed boxing. He failed boxing. But the sentiment that I share, Dan, before I let you speak, is that mixed martial arts has surpassed boxing as the face of combat sports in the world. What say you?
Yeah, I think the Ngannou versus Fury, what I took away was listen to what the announcer said as soon as the fight started, right? And these are guys who watch boxing their entire life. They said, this is like a guy playing table tennis, moving up and going to the Open Cup or whatever it is and playing actual tennis. That's what it was like. So from it to go from that to him looking like he was the better fighter than Tyson Fury, all within the span of 30 minutes, that should show you everything that you need to know about the MMA, UFC versus boxing. My next point is also with MMA. I think MMA has a lot more to offer than boxing. The reason why I say that is you look at all these jiu-jitsu guys now, right? All these big jiu-jitsu competition. Then you look at, wrestling. Then you look at kickboxing. Kickboxing is huge in, across the seas. Kickboxing is huge. There's a bunch of fans out there that much rather watch kickboxing match than boxing. So I think the world of MMA has a lot more to offer than just boxing. The last point I'll make is the only thing that's holding me back is this new wave of the Jake Paul-esque people, because I have felt like they've brought in a lot of eyes to the sport. That's the difference, right? That's the thing where I can say, okay, maybe boxing still is there, not from a, like a God complex, like you said, but from the eyeball standpoint, because now a lot of people are watching boxing a lot more than I would say 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
I'll tell you what it is, man. There's no personality in boxing. All you boxers, your personalities are boring. You're boring. Like your best trash talker that you would say in a while has been what? Floyd Mayweather, and he got schooled by Conor McGregor when they went head to head. Like there's no personality in boxing.
Yep.
There's no excitement in boxing. They don't do enough. It's the same standard tables and your trainer. Nobody wants to hear from the trainers. Nobody wants to hear your trainers talk. They want to hear from the boxers. They want to hear what you're going to do to your opponent next to you. This crap that, boxing is on this completely different level than mixed martial arts. I can't believe I'm saying it, man. It's false. Boxing is a beautiful sport. But unfortunately, in today's day and age, you have to be able to sell. You have to be able to sell tickets. You have to be able to get people excited for a match. And boxing just doesn't do that nowadays. They don't get people jazzed up, riled up, ready to go. They don't.
Yeah.
I don't get riled up. Do you get riled up? No. Marissa, do you get riled up for boxing? I don't. And I would say the most exciting personality boxing has had since a Floyd Mayweather retired might be a Deontay Wilder. I love Gervonta Davis. He's my favorite boxer. Not exciting. I watch him because I like seeing people knock people out. And I like to rep the East Coast. But if we're looking at it, there's no excitement going on. There's no excitement going on. Ryan Garcia. People like him. Girls like him. He's a pretty boy, right? But the talent there's a talent gap between his social media stardom and his actual talent. We got to do better. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say with this is it's boxing fans especially. This is more towards you guys, right? You guys have to find either you look at these new influencers, you look at these people who are actually bringing eyes to the sport and take them in, because it seems like actual true boxing fans like, no, screw Logan Paul, screw all these other guys. This is a disgrace to boxing. If you're sharing that sentiment, then you have to at least look at yourself in the eyes and be like, okay, well, the true boxers, the Shakur Stevenson, all these other guys, these guys aren't exciting like you said. So it can't be one or the other. You can't hate the Jake Pauls of the world and say they're a disgrace to boxing, but be like, well, boxing is the greatest thing of all time. You can't have both.
Because, let me make something very clear, and I fought Daniel tooth and nail talking about this years ago. Because of the Jake Pauls of the world is the reason why your sport isn't dead. Let's just be honest with you. Because of the Jake Pauls, because of the Logan Pauls, because of these influencers who have a following, had the bright idea, hey, let's bring the following to a sport that's dying, that needs us. Instead of being so judgmental and being snobby about it, you should thank those guys. You've been on your hands and knees thanking those guys as to why your sport isn't officially dead. Let's be honest with you. There's no excitement going on in the sport of boxing. I'm not trying to say be somebody you're not, but damn, have a little bit of a personality. I've seen walls that are more exciting than some of these boxers. It's bad. It's terrible. It's awful. That's just my thoughts. But Daniel, I really believe in my heart, mixed martial arts has surpassed boxing as the combat sports in the world today.
Yeah. And it's the way I describe it is MMA, and especially I'll point at the UFC, it's just raw. Like, and once again, that's a credit to Dana White with what he's done. He wants it to be unapologetic. That's why the Sean Stricklands of the world, the Sean O'Malley, he doesn't care what they say. And that's what gravitates towards it, because you're hearing stuff, even on the post-fight, press conference, what the hell? Like, that dude just said on live television, it may be wrong, but it's drawing eyes and it's raw and it's real emotion. That's, I think, the difference
100%
between MMA and boxing.
And like you said, it's unapologetically themselves. And at the end of the day, combat sports is violent. Combat sports is vicious. Don't expect these guys to get on the mic and then be anything but than what they are, especially when they're in their natural habitat, right? That's all I'm saying. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you guys think mixed martial arts, UFC, has surpassed boxing as the leader in combat sports today? Like, I sure do. Can't wait to hear what the rest of you guys think about it. Maybe you guys disagree with me. But if you like more video content like this, give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss when we go live from the First Star Logistics studio.